Hi, I'm Indira Kennedy, thinking about conscious leadership and how to find your bliss. Now, we know that there's a world epidemic of stress, anxiety, and depression, and generally we're really concerned about mental ill health. So, how do we find happiness, positivity, and a healthy mind as well? One of the things that I have noticed when I've been working with senior executives, and particularly when they come to me for coaching, is that it's often very difficult for them to find what it is that makes them happy. When I say, "What do you want?" they actually can't answer that question. Some time ago, I was working with one of the top 4 banks in Australia as a consultant. When I arrived in Sydney to train the senior heads in how to hold a coaching conversation, I discovered that they were in the middle of being told whether they would be made redundant or not. So instead of launching into training them on how to have a coaching conversation, we had one amongst ourselves on how they were feeling at the time. One of the team revealed that he did not believe that he was employable anywhere else. And a couple of the other team members said they felt the same way, that they were likely not to get another job. I couldn't believe it. I was really shocked because I knew these men really, really well. I knew how capable they were, I knew how senior they were, I knew how compassionate they were, and also how much they cared about the organisation and their teams. What I said to them was, if you truly believe that, then you have become institutionalised. And what did I mean by that? It meant that they had completely lost sight of their own value, their own worth, and they had really lost sight of who they were as individuals themselves. So what can you do to find your bliss? One of the things I would suggest is that you keep a bliss book or a joy journal. And during the day, as you move through your day, note the times when you feel happy, what you would call was happy. Now, that might just be a lovely, warm, fuzzy feeling. It could be feeling really thrilled about something or excited. It doesn't matter where on the spectrum of happiness it fits. Just take a moment to note it and look at what was it that actually happened. What is it about that situation that you found your own inner bliss being allowed to be expressed? And I put it that way because it's not things that make us happy. Nothing really makes us happy. What we know from Eastern traditions is that we have this pool of bliss within us, and in fact it is our natural self. Eastern wisdom says that consciousness is bliss, and we are consciousness, and therefore we are bliss. And Joseph Campbell, the great philosopher, said, "Live your bliss." And ancient Indian traditions actually made sex a spiritual practice because they wanted to find ways to stay longer and longer in that feeling of bliss and being connected with divine consciousness. So at the end of your day, take a moment to look back over the day and have a look at where you had those moments of joy and go back into the feeling of joy. When you do that, you will anchor that yourself back into that pool of bliss that sits within you, and you will build that as a natural way of being. You'll find that more and more it's your inner joy that's actually driving your activity, and it's the helping you make the choices about how you spend your time and how you are as a person. And therefore, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you're building more and more joy in your life. When you're about to go to sleep, access your unconscious by asking your soul to show you more ways of being blissful. Ask it to show you, how else might I express my joy? How else might I live my bliss?